Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen once again to MaxSpeedTV. We are here with the Northwest Truck Series presented by Walls Beard Co. Tonight's race is the Walls Beard Co. 140. And boy, do we have a lot of great drivers here for you. This race is set to be a fantastic one. We have currently 19 drivers on the track, and one or two more may be coming in shortly. But before we get to all of the racing action, of course, we do want to go through all the sponsors here. Walls Beard Co. They came on here for MaxSpeedTV. They are also a sponsor for this race and this series, but they are here on MaxSpeedTV as well, so make sure you check them out at wallsbeardco.com for all your beard product needs. SimSpeedShop.com, make sure you check these guys out. They are definitely the place to shop if you need a button box or a e-brake if you are a rallycross racer. HomeNet Hosting and PC Repair, make sure you check these guys out. Of course, if you need any PC to get fixed, they're the people to do it. However, if you need some hosting for your website, for your league, or whatever it may be, make sure you check them out and let them know you heard it on MaxSpeedTV. You can get 1 month free, as well as they'll waive your fees to get you started. Elite 7 Racing, they are the official dirt team of MaxSpeedTV, so make sure you check out their new website at elite7racing.com. Ohio IndyCar League came on board a while ago, and they are here now being broadcasted by Josh Medlock. So make sure you go check that out as well, or you can look to join at facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League. You can get all the details there. And just coming on board on the 15th, that is iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlays, your sim race broadcast graphics source. Check them out at ibog.co. And of course, on the racing side of things, we have Highway. There are two main divisions of Highway Equipment Company. One of them is Highway, and of course the other is New Leader. Make sure you check these guys out at highwayequipment.com, and they have some great products that you may need, so make sure you check them out. And of course, again, Walls Beard Co. Already talked about them, but make sure you go and check out their website, wallsbeardco.com, and get all of your beard products for you guys out there that just want to have a nice, well-groomed beard. Make sure you check it out at wallsbeardco.com. That being said, that will do it here for the sponsors. We'll go through those throughout the night as well. We're here in practice for another 17 minutes. KR wrapping up what he is doing as they just finished, so he'll be over here shortly, probably about the time we get to qualifying. He should be coming over here, so that is coming up here shortly. We do want to take a quick look here at what's coming up later this week. Of course, we do have later today we do have qualifying. That is coming up here and the next about 17 minutes, so stay tuned for that. I know it's a little late here, but make sure you definitely are staying tuned for that. Tomorrow it says no broadcast, but there is a special race going on that Rudy Cummings will be covering, so make sure you do tune in here tomorrow night for a race, as he will be covering that. Later this week, Saturday, of course, we do have the James Foster Memorial and the VRL Southern Spoon Cup Series. Those are coming up on Saturday. For some of us, we are off, but Rudy looks like he's going to be doing something, maybe KR as well. So still some races coming up this week, just not here. For me anyway, I am off for the week. But we are here again at the Walls Beard Co. 140 at Richmond Raceway. We have just a little bit of time left here, about 16 minutes to go. Question is, how is this race going to go? I think it'll go pretty good. As always, some good racing from this group of guys. 20 guys in here. Sean Brightsman making a late race appearance, so he is going to make it to the race. But again, we're going to step away for just a moment to get some last minute stuff up, and we'll come back here with your pre-race analyst. All right, we are back here again to pull up your pre-race analyst here. We'll pull it up real fast. There it is. Track temps, 78 degrees. Not the hottest track. We have seen quite a bit hotter. Partly cloudy at a north 2 miles per hour wind. Looking at it, 140 laps around this big track. Oh, big, sort of big anyway. 105 miles, so less miles than we are running laps. Tire window, fuel window, didn't get a chance to check in on that. Well, let's see if we can't pull Jeff up here and see if we can figure that out. Pit road, I believe it's 50 miles an hour, maybe 40, so we'll have to clarify that as well. But while we have a moment, let's see if we can't get Jeff up here and get a quick word in. All right, we do have Jeff Stab now with us here for a little quick interview. Just going through the analysts here, we didn't get a chance to do it this week like we normally do. But get your insights on the fuel window and the tire window here for this track here at Richmond Raceway.
Oh, you would ask me about fuel. To be honest with you, I'm not sure. I think we're going to have probably in the neighborhood of about 110 laps, maybe a little more than that. So I would imagine most guys are probably going to try to split it up. It'll depend on how the cautions fall. As far as tires, there's pretty significant fall off in about the first 20 laps or so, like maybe a second's worth of fall off, and then it kind of levels out. You know, guys are going to want tires anytime after maybe that first 20 laps, maybe even 15 laps. Track position will be a little important here, so we may see some pit strategies play out if we get a lot of cautions. Not sure. Was looking at some of the Road to Pro races and some of the C Opens, and they were running quite a few cautions in the open setup truck. So hopefully that's not us tonight.
Well, definitely cautions will play in. With this type of track, I'm not sure how many cautions we have. We haven't seen too terribly many people spinning out or wrecking or anything like that here in practice. So it looks like most people have a good feel for the truck. I know we don't want to talk about it too much and get you down or anything, but we know you were having some brake issue problems. Have those got themselves sorted out, or are you still tweaking on it out there?
We're tweaking at it here at a little hardware upgrade, and it's giving me some problems. And this is brakes are so important at this track, so I'm just going to have to take it a lot easier than I was earlier in the week prepping. You know, you kind of get on the brakes pretty good, getting into the corners, then you feather them out, and actually usually trail brake quite a ways into the corner here on this. And I'm having troubles with that initial brake stab right now, and then the trail braking as well. When I get down to a little bit, there's just not a lot of feel for that right now. So makes me want to push off the corner a bit, or possibly even lock up the tires slightly getting in. So, and everybody's fighting that to an extent. Right now, there's not a lot of rubber on the track, so we're lacking grip. So if you get in just a little bit too hot, you're facing this, you know, the gas a little bit. You're up against it. So that's where this race will be won or lost tonight, I'm sure.
Well, speaking of won or lost, you're sitting in second, so you know it goes to show. Even with those brake problems, you're still able to run a second fastest lap. So I think you do pretty good here tonight. Mark Wall's up there. Sean Brightsman, not sure, you know, we're usually talking about, and you mentioned that he's fast. He's only running 21.926, so interesting to see what he does in qualifying. But we don't want to keep you here. I know you got to get to race control stuff and get all that set up, but you want to do any quick shout-outs before we let you go?
Oh, absolutely. Shout out to, well, everybody in this series. We got such a great group of guys here, and yeah, I hope the racing shows it. These guys work so hard. I mean, we've had guys working, you know, I think we had 3 practices this week that were open, and there's probably double-digit guys that were in when all 3 of those working. There were guys that turned the lights out last night when practice was over. So just big shout out to everybody in this crew. Everybody gets along great. They're all friends with each other, and everybody works so hard to put on a good show. So we'll stick with that tonight, and hopefully we can get the rest at the end of the race.
Well, hopefully we'll see you in victory lane, or either at least the top 3. Again, that was Jeff Stabnell. So we are going to step away here for about a minute or so, come back, and we'll do some last-minute coverage here before we get ready to go into qualifying. That coming up in just about 10 minutes, so we'll be right back. Alright, we are back here with about a little under 9 minutes to go left in practice. So I do really think it's going to be a great race here tonight. So thanks everybody for tuning in on this broadcast here. And we know it is late, so everybody that tunes in this late at night and hangs in there with us, big shout out to all you guys. Again, if it wasn't the fans, we'd have no reason to be here. It is, of course, you fans that keep us going here on the late night hours. But Mark Walls, currently the fastest driver out on the track here in practice. Jeff Stabnell second. Andy Vogt is in third. And we'll take a look down here as we'll go to another camera angle. There is your fourth fastest car here. Taking a look, that is the 89 of John Ottenbucker. He again is fourth fastest. Chris White, another guy that we want to keep an eye on. He is currently fifth fastest here in the practice session. So we'll keep an eye on him as well. That being said, we've been told by drivers to watch out for Steve Silstad here tonight, as he is going to be a rocket. He's been fast in practices throughout the week, so we're definitely going to keep an eye on this driver here tonight. Again, that is the 45 of Steve Silstad, as he is currently sixth fastest here in practice. He's definitely living up to the hype. He's doing a good job at it. And it's going to be interesting again. We'll see how he does. He definitely needs to pick up the pace. Says a little bit running a 21 flat to a 20.990. So not a whole lot. 0.263 off the lead and 0.009 off of second place. So not very much at all if he wants to get up to the lead. It's only 0.2 of a second. But again, for a minute here, we're going to switch up. We're going to go on board with these guys and let you see what it's like to be behind the wheel of one of these. So that being said, we'll go on board. We'll be back here in a minute or two after we've had some time to go on board here with our onboard camera, sponsored by T&D Rustic Decor. Some of these drivers do have their own sponsors. There is 35 of Chris White with SimStar Motorsports on his. But again, we'll be right back here in just a few moments. Alright, we are back here again, just going on board with these guys just for a little bit here, and take it off of that and go to our main camera here. Again, these guys are very good at what they do, and it's just a matter of time here, 4.5 minutes away from qualifying. 21 drivers now, as Brad Cornell has made the trip, so he definitely will add it up. He's a very good driver in that 18th, so we'll be looking to see where he stacks up against this field. Again, we still have some drivers a little further back here, as we're looking. Sean Brightsman is currently 10th fastest with a 21:62.526 off of the lead. So we'll see if he can hang on to and get up there. I'm sure he's probably running a different set than he'll run during the race and qualifying. So we'll just have to wait and see if he can get up into the top 5. Right now, Mark Walls is going back out onto the track. He is your fastest driver right now in that 29 machine. Right behind him, already on the track, that is the 24 of Jeff Stabnow. So, as always, let us know in chat, do you have a favorite driver that you would like to see win here tonight? And as always, if you're new here tonight and have not before and not right now, hit that subscribe button to be notified of all the races we have going on. And of course, if you like the racing that's coming your way, hit that thumbs up for not only us, but for the sponsors as well. Again, make sure you hit that like button for all of them. That being said, we have about 3 minutes to go here. In about a minute 45, we will get over to your national anthem, as we are set to go to qualifying here in just a ton of great racing. We're going to see some good battles throughout the race tonight. I got a new driver here. Jackson Steiner is brand new to the series, or at least has not raced. We have not covered him before, so we'll be looking to see how he does in the 97 truck here tonight. Again, it is late night hours here for MaxSpeedTV. It is after 10:30, going on 11 o'clock here in Central Time. So, the $1 million question of the night: who is going to pull into victory lane? Who is going to have a disappointing finish? Will anybody have a disappointing finish? I personally don't think we're going to have too many cautions here tonight. This track is not difficult, but it ain't easy to run either. So we indeed could have some cautions, but then it could go green to checker. We just don't know. So we'll have to know here in a minute. But that will do it for practice. A minute 50 to go. We're going to step away and get to the national anthem, and then we'll be right back.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we do have KR Stove. This has got here now. He just finished up his broadcast, and now he's coming over here to be second chair in this one. So welcome to the booth.
Thank you very much for having me tonight, Charles. Sorry I'm late. You'll never believe what happened to me as I got into Richmond Speedway.
They probably frisked you and found all the illegal drinks you were bringing in that you shouldn't have been.
Well, there was that, but they ran out of beer at the beer cart outside in the parking lot. So now I had to find the whiskey cart, so we're going to have a few whiskeys tonight.
Well, there you go. As qualifying is officially underway, 10 minutes on the clock, now already to 9 minutes. Nobody's put in the time yet, though, obviously. We just got started. We do have a new driver here tonight as well. We'll pull up the driver bar and your qual times. That is the 97 of Jackson Steiner.
Yeah, Steiner out there. He's currently 4th on the charts as he just turns his first lap time. But Mark Wall's up on top of the charts with a 20.873. John Ottenbacher, my man, the Ottenbacher, he's in second place right now with a 20.898.
He is indeed. Carl Burke sitting in third with a 21.023. David Applegate kind of driving backwards there on the track, but he puts in a time of 21.058 to go to fourth position. Steve Silstad, currently fifth with a 21.070. He was one we were told to look out for tonight. He has been very fast in practice. So going to be someone we have to keep an eye on here tonight.
Steve Silstad, always a front runner. Andy Vogt in 7th place right now. Jackson Steiner, the new driver you mentioned, he's currently scored 8th. James Dalziel is 9th. And Tom Green currently rounding out your top 10.
Indeed they are. You'll see Jeff Stabnow is not coming on the track just yet. Kip Leo's pulling it into pit road. Just ran a 22.085 was his fastest lap. Dana Rogers, not sure. I'm sure he will be racing in that 07. 21.763. One we're not sure about that will be racing, of course, always is Scott Hutchinson. So we'll have to keep an eye on him. Chris White sitting at the end of pit road, but he's not coming out just yet.
Yeah, Chris White, one of those guys who likes to wait till the final moments of qualifying. He allows everyone to get a lap in, gives them a little bit of hope, and then he goes out there and lays down a great lap. Sometimes he even finishes his qualifying in the middle of the pack and then demoralizes the field by winning the race.
This is true. He has been known to do both. Jeff Stabnow out on the track right now. He is on his first lap. We'll see. Chris White starting to roll out there, but now he's slowing down. It looks like he's going to stop. So we'll check in here real fast. He is stopping before he completes his first lap. So back to Jeff Stabnow as he puts in his first time. And we'll see. It's probably going to be a top 5 time. It is top of the charts, 20.749.
So Stabnow laying down a wonderful lap. His second lap, though, he's bailing out of it. So Stabnow on top of the charts here with a 20.749. Meanwhile, I'm watching Chris White. He's finally getting that thing rolling. So he's used some strategy here, getting the tires as hot as possible. He's probably going to go for a one lap, one and done. Had to heat the tires up a little bit. Oh, and he's going to get sideways and into the wall. So Chris White, heavy contact on his qualifying time. That is not what he wanted to do.
No, it's not. He was going out there trying to run a good heater lap and ended up getting loose. And we've seen a few people doing that here in practice already. So it's going to be an interesting night of racing, to say the least. I don't think we'll have too many cautions, but we may have a few. Sean Brightsman, one to look out for. He is currently just cut in his fast time, but it's only a 21.072. He's usually a lot faster than that. To see him this far back in the field, even though it's a top 10 time, is kind of different for him.
Yeah, maybe he's going for a 2-lap deal, as here he is completing his second lap.
And actually slower, 21.129. So I just baffles me. I really figured we'd see him quite a bit higher up. as Chris White is going to be a 10th place car with a 21.180.
Still waiting on Frank Harris, Dan Stussy, Scott Hutchinson, Gerald Heffley, and Brandon Weinberg to turn a qualifying lap. And they are quickly running out of time to do so. We have a 10-minute qualifying session, and we got less than 5 minutes to go.
Indeed, we do. But before we get to the racing, of course, we got to pick our picks for the winner. I'd already mentioned Jeff that I was going to pick him earlier in the practice. So even though he is at the top, he has been facing some brake issues. So that could get interesting as he is fighting those issues. But I still think I'm going to pick him for the win here tonight.
Man, I got to tell you, my man, my buddy, John Ottenbacher, this guy, I love him week in, week out. Somehow, no matter what happens, he finds a way to get to the front. Sooner or later, this man is going to win a race. So John Ottenbacher, he's my pick for tonight.
He is definitely a solid pick, and he's starting third. So that's actually 3 teammates right there in a row. Jeff Stabnow, Mark Walls, and John Ottenbacher. So a very good, solid run for those 3. I'm picking the first in qualifying. You're picking a third. So it's going to be time will tell who comes out on top.
Yeah. We're here at Richmond. Richmond is a 3/4 mile track. A little bit of a D shape. Very interesting here. A lot of speed carried into turn 1. What that means is drivers are going to really have to fight the instincts to overdrive turn 1. Because if you overdrive turn 1, it really puts you in a bad position to come out for turn 2 down this short backstretch. And then you're frustrated, you're confused, you're lost, and you're looking for your favorite flavor of Crown as you dive into turn 3. And I'll tell you what, things happen fast here at Richmond, so we're going to see an interesting race all night long.
They do indeed happen extremely fast. 140 laps, but that's only 105 miles, so it will go by very quickly. 140 laps, that it seems kind of deceiving when you think you just got done doing a Talladega race. 140 laps there would be ridiculous, but 140 laps at Richmond, not so much. It's actually less miles than it is laps. So it makes it go by very quickly, especially if you get some long green flag runs.
Yeah, it's a 105-mile race here tonight. You mentioned I just did a Talladega race. We did 199.5 miles. A little bit shorter race here as far as miles go. It's going to be a good night. Richmond's very unpredictable, and it's always a good show. And we're here in the trucks, one of the best cars that iRacing Service has to offer. And I tell you what, I'm excited about this.
Indeed, as I am as well. And I really don't think Frank Harris, Dan Stussy, Scott Hutchinson, Gerald Heffley, or Brandon Weinberg, I don't think they're going to come out on the track. If they were going to, they would have probably done it by now, as time is winding down. Only a minute 17, so by the time they did a warm-up lap and then their main lap, they would barely be able to squeeze 2 laps in there.
Jeff Stabnow, KR, and Charles up in the broadcast booth. You got your ears on?
Hey, I got you guys. How you doing?
Man, oh man, what a lap you laid down at 20.749, one and done. How are you feeling about your race so far going forward from here?
Well, I mean, we've had speed in the truck. That was in race trim, and we've actually hit 5s and 6s in race trim. So we've had speed in the truck all week. It's really just going to come down to taking care of the right front tire again and being consistent and just not doing anything to shoot ourselves in the foot.
Now, if you were to shoot yourself in the foot, is it going to be with a small caliber or a large caliper?
I don't mess around when it comes to that. When I shoot myself in the foot, it's usually big. I think my biggest concern is probably getting on the pit flag or pit road, on a green flag stop. There's not much runoff there to slow down. It's easy to hit those barrels there or Easy to get a speeding ticket down there, and under green flags, I mean, that'd just kill you.
All right, man. Well, again, congratulations on winning the pole. Good luck to you as we're getting ready to go racing.
All right, guys, take care.
That was Jeff Stabnow, our pole sitter, in that. What is his number? I have 24. I got it. He's number 24. I knew it. Don't question me.
He's definitely going to have a great race here. We'll see how it stacks up. He is your pole sitter, though. And speaking of pole sitters, we're going to get this thing started here. Quickly get to the grid here anyway. So you want to go through, say, our first 5 rows, and then I will finish us off here tonight.
I sure will. Jeff Stabnow, we got a quick interview in with him, our pole sitter, getting it done with a 20.748. Mark Walls, front row outside teammates, he's going to do a 20.872. Second row inside, John Ottenbacher, my pick for tonight, with a 20.898. On his outside, the 17 of Ryan Maines with a 20.936. Carl Burke and David Applegate are going to make up row number 3 with our Walls Beard Co. starting grid. Steve Seelstad, Sean Breitzman make up row number 4. And finally, row number 5, Andy Vogt and Chris White in the 35 machine, a threat each and every week to win no matter what car it is.
And indeed, row 6 is going to be Jackson Steiner, brand new to the league, and James Dalziel. Row 7 is going to be Tom Green and Dana Rogers. Again, Tom Green, somebody to look for here tonight to work his way up through the field. Row 8 is going to be Brad Cornell and Kip Leo. Row 9 is going to be Scott Hutchinson and Gerald Heffley, noting that both Scott Hutchinson did start, even though he did not qualify. Row 10 is going to be Dan Stuzzi and Brandon Weinberg. And row 11, all by himself, is going to be Frank Harris in 21st. But that will do it for your Walls Beard Co. starting grid. We are now 1 lap away from getting the green flag.
21 trucks out on track right now. Everyone who has joined the session is out there. So a good turnout here tonight. Good field size, especially for Richmond. Going to be an interesting race. And I am really going to keep an eye on a couple drivers. One of them my pick for tonight. I think he's due, John Ottenbacher. But you can never count out that front row that is made up of Jeff Stabnow and Mark Walls. And let's not forget, we got drivers such as Ryan Maines out there as well, who is always fast as well.
Yeah, they are very fast, and there goes the pace car, and just about ready to get his. There it is. Green flag is out for the first time. Jeff Stabnow leading these guys to the line. The question is, that brake problem he's been having, how long can he hang on to the lead, or can he hang on to the lead, as he's got company coming from the 29 of Mark Walls.
Mark Walls wasting no time, jumping right out onto the outside here, trying to get around his teammate Jeff Stabnow. These guys, they're out for blood here on lap number 1.
They are indeed two teammates battling, and here comes your pick, John Ottenbacher. He's got his own hands full with Ryan Maines right now, but he's putting on a good run. And look who's right behind him, the 23 of David Applegate, running the MaxSpeedTV paint job, of course. He is right there with him. And it looks like these front two are going to kind of sort it out. Jeff Stabnow is out front, and he is pulling away a little bit now as a 0.4 lead.
Little bit of a lead here. It's easy to have to check up and lose ground, but that's going to change quickly. It's just as fast as you lose ground, you can make it up.
Yeah, you really can. Anything can happen, especially in racing. Anything can happen. Jeff Stabnow definitely pulling away. Maybe that's a factor because he doesn't have any brakes. He can't slow down. He's just going to go faster and faster until eventually he wins the race. But he has been having some issues calibrating his brakes. So, I wouldn't know if he did get those fixed or not, but it looks like he may have because he is flying out there. Right now, Mark Wall's right behind him. Let's go a little further back as we have James Dalziel went through the grass. Not sure what happened to him there, but he is off pace, or he was off pace anyway. So he went all the way to 21st place right now. So we'll take a look where he started. He actually started in 12th.
And James Dalziel lost all the ground he could. He's currently scored last car 21st on track, that 51 machine. But we're early here at Richmond. 140 laps is our total distance, as the 16 is going to get crossed up. Kip Leo able to sort it out without making contact.
Yeah, that was surprising. No damage there. So good job for him to not get any damage there, as it looks like he's going to go through the grass again. James Dalziel off pace once again. Down on the bottom of the track, and the leads are going to get by him this time, so they're actually going to put him a lap down, as he has significant damage to that truck now. And if I was a leader, this is not what I want to see. A truck that's already spun out twice has a lot of damage, and he's sitting right in front of me.
Yeah, Dalziel came out of turn 4 trying to pick up the throttle, almost collected Kip Leo as he straightened his truck out. But yeah, he's getting lapped by the leaders. Went through the grass once again, so, you know, heavy front end damage here early, so he's waiting for a caution to get into pit road and get that fixed.
He is indeed. He wants to get it fixed as quickly as possible, but he doesn't want to go any more laps now. And, you know, as long as the truck will run, he's probably going to keep it out there. There's no point in pitting just yet, as long as you can handle the truck. The question is, how much longer can he handle it? That truck is pretty damaged. So it's going to be a matter of when he needs to pit. As it looks like we have another car that got off pace. And that is Jackson Steiner. And Frank Harris, something happened to him. He is actually on pit road, and that truck is smoking.
Frank Harris came out of turn 2, started to pick up the throttle, got crossed up and smashed the inside wall, rode around on 2 wheels, and spun back around, and it slowly worked his way to pit road.
Very interesting so far. We've seen several people spin it, get loose, go into the grass, whatever it is, but no caution so far as we're on lap 12. And right about there will be lap 13 underway now. So caution free thus far, even though we've had some cars get into the wall.
Yeah, multiple cars have gotten into the wall. Frank Harris so far the only one that has made a pit stop. Kip Leo in 19th place. He is the first car 1 lap down. James Dalziel, second car 1 lap down, and then Frank Harris. He is currently.
Sorry to cut you off, but Ryan Maines into the outside wall. Didn't mean to cut you off, but the 17 of Ryan Maines just hammered the outside wall. Well, let's go back and take a look. Yeah, that was a hard lick to the outside wall. It looked like maybe he had a little company there from the 16 of Kip Leo's. We're watching the replay now. And they went 3 wide and just no room. It looked like Ryan Maines knew he was 2 wide, but I don't think he knew he was 3 wide. He actually came down and bumped the 35 of Jeff White. Or Chris White, sorry.
It looked like a situation where the lap machine of Kip Leo trying to stay out of the way, but he still has to occupy space on the track. Chris White, Ryan Maines, you know, those guys racing for position and force a 3 wide situation, and the big loser there is going to be Ryan Maines. Yeah,
definitely. He was on the lead lap, but he's probably not going to be after that. He actually got stuck into the wall. They had to go get the jaws of life of the wall and cut his car away from it.
They did, and man, I gotta tell you, drivers on pit road here, and Jeff Stabnow, first one on pit road. Can he win the race off pit road?
He can, and hopefully he needs to, and then he will do it easily. Jeff Stabnow going to come off, and for the most part, it looks like they're going in and out the same way they came in anyway, with the exception of that car right there. Take a look. the 46 of Sean Brightsman. He came in well in the back. He started 8th. He's up to 3rd now thanks to pit stops.
Yeah, Brightsman had a great showing when the trucks were at Sonoma. Very dominant performance. And here he is running 3rd at Richmond.
Yeah, he is definitely a well-rounded driver. And if you look, that puts Jeff Stabnow, Mark Walls, Sean Brightsman, and John Ottenbacher, 4 teammates, 1, 2, 3, 4 here in the race. But again, we still have plenty of laps to go. So that may not stay that way for the entire race. As we look, that's our first caution. We still have 124 laps to go.
And we got quite a bit of time left on this race. Chris White started 10th, currently scored 5th. So he's making some moves to the front. But Scott Hutchinson, he started 17th. He is currently 9th. So far, he's been our biggest mover.
He hasn't. He's moving his way through the field. Again, you got fresh tires now. So, you know, these tires will wear off. We heard from Jeff earlier. Usually 20 laps in, they're going to want some fresh tires. We were only on lap 18 now, so that was about 16 when they pitted. So I'd be venturing to guess if we have at least 15 laps on these tires, they're going to come in because they can get about 110 laps on fuel. So fuel isn't going to be an issue if we obviously have less than that. Again, we'll take a look here at our laps left. We have 123 laps to go, so they will have to pit. Even everyone that pitted now won't make it on fuel. But one more caution here in another 20 laps, and they would not have to pit for fuel.
Speaking of pitting, Kip Leo, he has pulled it behind the wall. He is packed up. He is headed home. Ryan Maines has managed to get back out there. He is currently 3 laps down, though. And Frank Harris in the 6 machine scored in 19th. He is 2 laps down as the field starts to form up. Lights are out in the pace car.
They are indeed. Ryan Maines having the Lord to get up to the rest of the field. But there we go. Pace car is diving off. Lap 20 is underway. We're racing here once again at Richmond Raceway. Lap 20 of 140. So we are not in the pit window here. We still will have to make one pit stop for fuel, but I'm pretty sure they'll be pitting for tires long before fuel comes into play.
That they will. And Dan Stussy in that 78 machine, he's currently running 15th. Be watching for this guy to start working his way through the field here. I think he's got a faster truck than where he's at right now.
Yeah, definitely running 22.9.
07 sideways. And he managed to save it. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but thought for a moment we were going to have a situation, but Dana Rogers able to gather it back in.
Yeah, these guys are pretty good at what they do, man. And definitely, if we see a caution, we'll get to it. Again, this is about the only time we usually cut each other off, but sometimes it can get pretty scary back there when these cars start turning. We've seen it before. They can actually roll these trucks pretty easy compared to like the Cup cars that run. You get these things sideways, and that air will get underneath them, and you could go barrel rolling it pretty easy.
John Ottenbacher, big time trouble coming out of turn 2. The yellow flag is going to come out because of it.
He definitely has some serious damage, so let's go back and take a look. What happened to John Ottenbacher here? He's all by himself. I think it may have been just a self-spin, which is surprising considering he only has 8 laps on those tires.
Yeah, it looked like he just got into turn 1 a little hot. Got on the brakes a little harder than he wanted to, and it just upset the car, and he ended up chasing it the entire way around the corner and then finally tagged that inside wall. But he's not smoking, no radiator damage, but definitely some heavy cosmetic damage on the front end of that thing.
And he is going to bring it down pit road, of course. But none of our leaders are going in. So from about 10th on, 11th on back, they are going to pit, though.
So we got multiple guys coming down pit road. Brad Cornell, Gerald Heffley, John Ottenbacher, Dan Stussy, Brandon Weinberg, all those guys on pit road right now.
Yeah, and again, just goes to show some of these guys further back, track position is key here too. So if you're already in the back, what's it going to hurt? You're already back there. You're not going to lose a lap. You might as well go down and get some fresh tires and some fuel. Taking a look real fast here, they still not quite in that window here. 110 laps. They're still 6 laps short. So that's probably why you didn't see these front guys go in. They want that track position. But if we have another caution here in the next 10 laps, I'd be willing to bet you're going to see all the leaders go. All the leaders will come in.
Yeah, it's hard to strategize up here. I can tell you, man, if I was out there, I wouldn't necessarily want to give up the track position until I felt my fall off from lap times justified it. Right now, I think these tires still have a lot of grip in them, so we're going to see these guys hang out for a little while because the fall off just isn't there on the tires just yet.
Yeah, it's really not. So it's just a matter of time to see when they start falling off. 10 laps on them compared to 1. But the first car with fresh tires is Brad Cornell back in 13th. As it looks like the 97 of Jackson Steiner is going to go in now. I believe he was a lap down and got his lap back, so he's going in because of that. But you have to go all the way back to a 12th place to find fresh tires. So by the time, say, Brad Cornell could get all the way up to Jeff Stabnow, who's leading with those fresh tires, most likely his tires are going to be pretty much gone too. So you got to use those new tires to pass everyone in front of you. But then by the time you do, can you actually make a pass for the lead?
It's all about tire management when you get into these long green flag runs. Not only that, but you also have to kind of plan for a short run. So it's always a big gamble. Do you save or do you go aggressively? And so far, Jeff Stabnow has made all the right calls because he's leading this thing.
He is indeed. The ball's in his court here, per se, so he's got to have a good start. He's got older tires. I don't think they're going to be that old. We were under caution for a few of those. We had about 2 or 3 under caution before we went green, and now 2 or 3 on this one. So really only about 6 laps total under racing conditions. So there really wasn't a need to pit. If you're up front, they want that to stay up front and keep that position. He's got his work cut out for him. He's got 3 very fast drivers, 4 very fast drivers right behind him, even 5 if you go all the way back to Andy Vogt and Carl Burke, make it 6.
Green flag in the air once again. Stabnow getting a good start. Mark Wall's going to slot into second. Third place, Sean Breitzman. And then Chris White up to 4th place. So that guy, he's within striking distance of the lead. And David Applegate running onto the high side here. Way high. Oh, man, I thought he was going to hit the wall there coming out of turn 4.
Yes, up on the high side right now is really no man's land. There's been nobody up there. There's not any grip, but he's making it work. See if he can get up. He's currently 7th. He's got to get by Andy Vogt in the 10 right now, who is running the Flash. So, you can't catch the Flash, but, he's doing a good job of it. He's hanging with him. So we'll have to see if he can potentially pass him. And you mentioned it earlier, Scott Hutchinson up to 8th place right now. He is doing a fantastic job from 17th as we got somebody going around.
Dana Rogers in the 07 down the backstretch. He looks like he is in big time trouble.
Yeah, that truck is in serious need of some repairs. It is smoking, so I'd be willing to bet that is probably going to end his day here. He's going to have too much damage on pit road, but we'll see if he does make it back out. Again, one of those self-spins. I don't see anybody around him that helped him out.
Now, once you start picking up the throttle here at Richmond, you want to really kind of lay into the throttle because it helps your car turn. But if you get a little too aggressive on it, you have a very hard time of chasing it back around. That's exactly what happened to Dana. He just got into the throttle a little hard and never was able to regain that rear end as it came on around.
Yeah, definitely. Just it's an unfortunate thing, as all the leaders are coming down pit road now. We kind of figured they would be. We are going to have some people stay out, though. Scott Hutchinson's actually going to lead this race. But for the most part, all the leaders coming down pit road. So this could get very interesting now as we'll take a look here at our cautions. 108 laps to go, so we're still not technically in that 110 lap window. But, you know, that was a guess. They may have a few more laps, so we'll see. I really think we're going to pit for tires every time anyway. I really don't think fuel is going to be a factor, but they could possibly be within that window here shortly.
Yeah, Scott Hutchinson doing a great job. He started 17th. Now he's out front by virtue of staying out. He has made one pit stop on one of our previous cautions, so he doesn't have original tires on there. But he's going to hang tough. This guy is a great driver, but I'd like to point out John Ottenbacher. He's sitting in second place right now, man.
He is indeed. So he's got a fast truck. And, you know, even after that spin, he's sitting in second place right now. So he's somebody you're going to have to look out for here. He's always fast, and he is your pick. So, you know, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Jeff Stabnow is currently back in fourth place. The question is he going to get those fresh tires up to the front quickly here?
Jeff Stabnow, our fourth place driver in the 24 machine. I don't know, man. He's pretty stout tonight. He's running some good laps. I like to make my picks. I know I'm picking John Ottenbacher, but 3 feet before the checkered flag flies, I might have to change.
Well, I'm perfectly fine with that. Unfortunately, I can't let you have Jeff Stabnow because last time you switched to him, he wrecked a lap later. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to keep Stabnow for myself. But now look where John Ottenbacher is, as Hutchinson just went in to make a pit stop.
Yeah, Hutchinson made a pit stop. Not sure why he did what he did. He led a lap and then pulled it in. So he is going to restart 17th. So here we go. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, I think he was out there just to get that bonus point. Again, I believe he is one of them that's in the hunt for the chase. Again, you got to be in the top 8 in points minus drop weeks. So he has got to get every point he can to potentially get in that chase.
A win would get him in very nicely, and Scott Hutchinson was having a good run going there. I'm not sure on his strategy, but you know what? I'm not in the driver's seat. I'm not a crew chief. I'm a broadcaster. That means that when we go to commercial break, I eat the crayons. But green flag flying once again, and Ottenbacher out front.
He is indeed. Ottenbacher hadn't been out front till now. Jeff Stabnow already up to second place, but Carl Burke sitting right behind him in third place. And the newbie, Jackson Snyder, running in fourth place right now. So, you know, Jackson's making a name for himself. But here comes Sean Brightsman, Chris White, Mark Walls. They're all going to get by him. So he's definitely trying to hold his own out there. But keep in mind, as we'll get to him, Jackson Snyder has 11 lap tires compared to 5 for everyone else. So that goes to show you right there just how good new tires are here.
Yeah, new tires are very important now, and the yellow is going to come right out as it looks like. We got several cars going around here.
Ottenbacher just got hammered. We got 3-4 cars involved. Let's go back and take a look. Ottenbacher got the worst end of the deal. After the caution was out, he got slammed into, I believe, the 87 or the 78 of Dan Stuzzi. I'm not sure what led to this, but the 87 did go around. Oh, just got it loose. Collects his teammate, the 46, the 53 of Carl Burt getting involved. And then right here just gets clobbered by the 78 of Dan Stuzzi. I have a feeling that that may do it for the 89 here tonight. He is going to have a ton of damage.
Nobody tell John I picked him tonight.
Well, he is not having the luck he was having earlier. The tides have changed, and you know, that being said, that was some good drivers out of the top, so this really is going to shake things up here for the finish of this race.
So the field is well and truly shook, but are they woke? Because Jeff Stabnow, he's back out front. Steve Sealstad sitting in second. And David Applegate, he's holding on strong in the third place.
He is indeed. And we have David Applegate in chat or in TeamSpeak here with us. Let's see. Nobody's pitting. Let's see if we can't get him in for a quick interview real fast.
David, this is KR and Charles up in the broadcast booth. You got your ears on?
Yes, sir. How you guys doing?
Well, I'm kind of curious. So you're sitting up here in third, thanks to that I don't know, big wreck there. I don't know what you call it. It wasn't a big one, but it took out about 4 cars, some really good cars at that. You were already working your way up there slowly but surely, but now you're sitting in third. Obviously running the MaxSpeedTV paint job and the MaxSpeedTV onboard camera here. But do you think you had anything for Jeff? He's been pretty quick, but so have you working your way through this field.
For Steve, maybe. For Jeff, I doubt it, but we've got a good setup under this car. Me and my teammates have put some great work into this, so you know, if we're going to give the new leader guys a shot at it, this is probably a good place for it. So I think I might be able to get second, but Jeff is going to be a challenge.
Well, remember, he did wreck you there. We got payback coming. I'm just kidding, Jeff. We're just kidding with you. Obviously, that is not condoned here either. Any quick shout-outs you want to give before the lights go off and we get this thing going green again?
Well, big thanks to Cochlear Corporation for standing by me and doing a little bit of sponsorship on us as well, and of course for MaxSpeed for helping me get up here to the front. But Ryan Mays and Andy Vogt, my 2 teammates, did put a lot of work into the setup I'm running right now. So the only reason I'm up here at the front is because of the work they put into it. So shout out there.
All right, we'll let you get back to the racing, and we're going to get this thing going, and we'll just go on board with you here for the restart.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
It was David Applegate giving us a great interview while we are under caution. So thank you very much, David, for that. Man, his truck looks good, though. That 23 MSTV sitting on the row 2 inside. It's not a bad spot to be.
It is not. As again, we're going to ride on board with him for the restart here. The question is, can he get by the 45 here of Steve Silstad? We were told again earlier not to reiterate ourselves, but he has been very fast in practice. Here he is sitting in second place. And can he get by the leader of Jeff Stabnow in that new leader Walls Beard Co. Chevrolet? Or can anybody, as they're getting ready for it, there it is, green flag is back out again. We're riding on board with the restart here with the MaxSpeedTV onboard camera, thanks to David Applegate running that cam here tonight. And it looks like he is going to take second place from Steve Silstad, as we will go off the onboard camera here into our main cameras. Oh no, and he goes around, caution comes out. Oh, he gets hit again and again. Well, that was unfortunate. Let's go back and take a look, see what happened to David Applegate. I'm beginning to think we probably shouldn't interview people.
Or pick them. But it looked like the 6 machine of Frank Harris just kind of had a little wobble as David Applegate came around to pass him, and then just calamity and mayhem.
Indeed, we'll take a look here. Not a very good angle here. We'll see if we can't get a different angle from it. Go back another 20 seconds or so here and see if we can't get a different angle. Actually, looking at it from that angle, unfortunately, I think it might have fallen on the 23. The 6 was in that lane, and maybe David Applegate, his spotter didn't tell him how close he was. He just came down on him. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Maybe he misjudged how close he was to him. But again, the 6 could have came up a little bit if you saw a different angle than I did. But just a really bad racing incident there. And unfortunately, a very fast car going to be taken out of this race because of it.
Yeah, I think it's just a curse of us talking to people, because literally 30 seconds ago we were talking to him, and now he's on pit road furiously getting that thing fixed.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate. Good news is he's got a fast repair. He's on the lead lap, but he's back in 13th. But that truck looks nice and pretty, as he's going to pass his teammate there, so he'll stay in 13th, but he is on the lead lap and got a brand new truck.
Yeah, he's getting back out on the lead lap, which is a good thing. But I got to tell you, man, Mark Walls, he's sitting in 4th place. Tom Green in that 77, he is currently running 5th place. Tom Green started 13th, and he's made his way up into the top 5 right now.
He has indeed, and a very good run. If the lights don't go off this time, we might look about getting Tom Green in the booth, see if we can't get a word in with him here. We'll just have to wait and see if the lights go off. If they do, we won't have time. If they do not go off, we'll have time to get him up here and talk to him. But again, Tom Green putting together a good run, sitting in 5th place right now. Probably one of the best runs he's had in the season so far.
Tom Green, KR and Charles up in the broadcast booth. Got your ears on, man?
Hey, Charles, what's going on, man?
Oh, not a lot. Looking at you having a great run here tonight. So just curious if you have any plans, what you're going to try to do to get by these guys.
You know, it's just going to try to hang in here and try to get the best finish I can. It's thinking of changing a few things, but this track is so sketchy when you start changing stuff. You know, I'm just leaving it alone for now, so...
Well, definitely a good strategy. You know, just kind of play it by ear and see how it goes. But looks like we're about to go green. So, KR, any last-minute question here before we let him go?
Tom, man, great run going for you. Just keep the tires down and keep them underneath you, and good luck out there.
Hey, man, thanks, you guys. Appreciate it.
All right, again, that was Tom Green there, also running the MaxSpeedTV on-board camera. Not running the paint job here tonight, but he does have the MSTV on-board camera running as well. So a lot of good drivers in here, already out of the race, or at least laps down on pit road. It's unfortunate, but the green flag is back out once again as we are on lap 51 of 140. Keep it in mind here real fast, that is the 5th caution here. 90 laps to go. We are within the fuel window, so everyone that pitted, they are good on fuel.
They are good on fuel. Doing a little bit of housekeeping. Carl Burke, Kip Leo, those guys packed up and headed home. John Ottenbacher sitting on pit road. He's currently scored 19th. Dana Rogers 18th. And Jackson Steiner scored 17th. Those 3 drivers on pit road continuing to work furiously on their cars.
Well, you can't have my driver, but I think we'll throw a mulligan in there for you and let you pick a second driver. Unfortunately, as good as John Ottenbacher is, I don't think he's going to come back for 14 laps down with 9 minutes in pit road still, and it's climbing, so I don't think he's going to make it back. But that's unfortunate, though, too, because he had such a fast truck here tonight.
Yeah, John Ottenbacher, definitely a heavy burden to carry fixing that thing. But man, you don't know John. He could come back. I'm gonna stick with him.
Well, you never know. He could possibly somehow come back from it. Unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna happen. But a caution is gonna come out, and it's Gerald Heffley involved, but I believe he is the one smoking, so let's go and take a look.
I also have the 18 of Brad Cornell pulling on pit road with heavy damage.
And indeed, actually, that may have been who I was watching. Gerald Heffley, I don't believe, was involved. We'll see here. Not sure what happened. He was slowed on the track already. The 18 of Brad Cornell. So let's go back here just a little bit more. Oh, gets into the outside wall, and looks like not sure who that was. 427 of Brandon Weinberg gets into him. So hard hit to the back of the truck, and that's going to make it smoke. So he's going to go down pit road here, and he'll be on pit road for a little bit here. We'll see if he does use his fast repair.
Yeah, Weinberg working his way down pit road now. He's going to need to use his fast repair if he's got one left, because that thing is smoking.
It is indeed, as we're on lap 56 of 140. If he uses it and stays on the lead lap, he could potentially possibly get back up to the front. But it's going to be tough. We've already seen a lot of good drivers out of this race.
Mark Walls not pitting. He's going to stay out on lead some laps here. So older tires here versus newer tires, as Jeff Stabnow had made a pit stop. He's got those fresh tires versus Mark Walls, who has stayed out.
He has indeed, and if he can handle those old tires, he'll be able to stay up front for a little bit. But with the fall off the way it is, I don't know if he's going to be able to. The question is, how many of those laps were actually on those tires under green flag conditions? If they're just pacing around this track at 50 seconds a lap compared to 21, that's not a lot of wear on those tires. So he doesn't have too much to worry about. So I don't think he's in too much of a danger at the moment.
No, and Mark Walls is a fast driver, able to hold his truck in position as it looks like the 6 thought about pitting of Frank Harris, and the 51 is going to pit. Those were 2 drivers that were separating Mark Walls and Jeff Stabnow as we paced here under yellow.
It is indeed, and it looks like, interesting enough, Jeff Stabnow still second, but we got some good drivers up here at the front now. Andy Vogt back up front. Chris White is in the front now. So a lot of good drivers making their way. I have a feeling we may have a winner here that has not won a race here so far in this series.
We very well could have a new race winner. Real quick, Brad Cornell behind the wall. He is packed up. He is going home.
That is unfortunate. It looks like Brandon Weinberg has done the same as well. It's unfortunate, but it does happen. It is racing. Sometimes you just don't end up making it.
Scott Hutchinson, someone we're talking about kind of off and on here in the 91 machine. He's currently scored 6th. Gerald Heffley in the 61 machine has scored 9th, but we're getting ready to go green flag racing.
We are indeed. We could have some green flag run. We only have a handful of drivers left on the track. Still quite a few overall, though, so we'll see how it plays out. A lot of these drivers have used fast repairs, so it's just a matter of time before we finally declare the winner, as we're on lap 60 of 140 as green flag is back out. We are winding down the laps already here. Taking a look, we have 81 to go, so we're actually creeping up on the halfway point here very quickly.
Getting close to the halfway point, and it looks like Jeff Stabnow thinking about the inside on Mark Walls, but not able to pull it off as they go into 3 and 4, and out of the front stretch.
And yeah, hopefully KR is okay, but indeed. We got a battle going on back here between Andy Vogt, Steve Stillstad, and Chris White. These guys are really starting to mix it up in here. And Scott Hutchinson in the mix as well. So is David Applegate. And now Sean Brightson back in 8th, but he's getting in the mix. So we have a nice about 6-car battle right now going on for 3rd position all the way to 8th place. So a lot of cars getting in the mix here, and they are doing a good job of keeping it clean and keeping it off of each other.
Sorry about that. A ninja throat punched me, so I'm good now. I took care of the ninja. Meanwhile, I'm watching David Applegate get a little bit of a nudge from Sean Brightsman for position there. Applegate's going to lose a couple spots.
He is indeed. And again, these are some of the guys we don't always see up here. Scott Hutchinson, we know he's fast, but as little as he races here because of internet issues, we don't see him over the front too much. He is definitely up at the front right now, sitting currently in 7th position. I just don't know. Look at the front two. They've kind of pulled away here. They have a 1.766 gap over 3rd place of Steve Silstad. So they're kind of in their own time zone right now. As we got somebody into the outside wall, and I'm not sure who it is. Somebody scraped the outside wall. May have been Hutchinson that got into it. But I don't see any damage to that truck, so I am not sure who scraped that outside wall, but somebody definitely got into it.
The 13 machine of, or I'm sorry, the 78 machine in 13th spot, Dan Stussy, he's currently scored 4 laps down, but he is still out on track. Jackson Steiner in the 97 machine, he is 10 laps down, but he is still running. So Brandon Weinberg, Frank Harris, Brad Cornell, Dana Rogers, John Ottenbacher, Carl Burke, and Kip Leo, those guys all out of the race right now. Attrition really starting to take some drivers and send them to the woodshed.
Indeed, and right as you say that, Dana Rogers, he's coming back out onto the track. So he spent 11 minutes on pit road, still has heavy damage, but he is actually going to bring that truck back out onto the racetrack and try to gain a few spots. And he could gain 3 spots here and finish in the top 15.
Yeah, with Brandon Weinberg, Frank Harris, Brad Cornell packed up and going home, that does allow the opportunity for him to get out on track and gain some positions, but here he comes pulling back on pit road.
Yeah, he came out and something wasn't right, so he's pulling it back down pit road again. So he didn't gain any spots from it.
Hasn't gained any spots. I wonder if he's coming down pit road, maybe to use his fast repair this time. Maybe he didn't have it checked when he came on to pit road the first time. I'm sitting here watching him. Gonna see how he handles this pit stop.
Right as we left him, he was getting the car jacked up on the right to get some tires, so he may indeed use that fast repair. Apparently that Ninja came after me now, but do apologize for that. Mark Walls out front, but he's catching a lap car now, so we'll see how this plays it out. He is catching Jackson Steiner, and Steiner's going to pull it to the bottom, and it looks like he is just going to let them by. He's not going to battle them at all. So he's going to let everybody by. Curious if maybe he's going to go to pit road here, as he is staying below the apron off the pace here. So he is indeed going to stop it on the track, though. Something's wrong with that truck, and it won't handle. But there he gets it going, as he's going to go down the pit road. So he's going back, and he's going to go now 11 laps down on pit road. So the question is, can any of these guys catch up to those front two? Steve Silstad is currently running in 4th because Sean Brightsman did get by him.
And Brightsman in the 46 machine, he's got some work to do to catch up to Jeff Stabnow. Stabnow on some fresher tires, not sure if he's just biding his time behind Mark Walls, or if Mark Walls is just able to run that much faster, because Mark Walls is about 15 lap older tires and holding his own, holding the lead here with the very fast Jeff Stabnow right behind him.
He is indeed, and those two are just so fast together. Sean Brightsman, though, is closing that gap 1.233 seconds. We're going to keep an eye on that gap there on your top 3 here in the overlays, 1.2. So he's catching him. The question is, can he pass him? You looking here at their tires. Mark Walls, you know, we talked about how they lose a little bit of speed. Obviously, Mark Walls knows something we don't know, because that was the information we got, that it would start to wear your tires and you would lose about a second for 20 laps or more. He's still running a little bit faster. That time he was actually a little bit slower, but he's got 35 laps on those tires compared to 20 for everybody else behind him.
Ryan Maines in the 17 machine, he is 1 lap down. First car 1 lap down. We're just past the halfway. We're on lap 75 of 140. And Ryan Maines, we saw him get in trouble early on, doing a good job of recovering. He's recovered a couple laps, but he's still got 1 more to go. So this guy, he's in a battle for the first lap down car. In fact, he's the only car 1 lap down right now.
Yeah, so he's definitely winning that battle at the moment. And it's a good recovery from him. He's only 1 lap down. Earlier in this race, he just hammered that outside wall and actually stuck into it. So a good recovery to only be 1 lap down for him. And keeping an eye on that gap between 3rd and 2nd and 3rd and 1st. We're back up there to Sean Brightsman real fast. It went from 1.3 seconds to 0.799. So you want to talk about somebody who is fast? That's a 21.609 for Sean Brightsman. He's catching those front 2, and he's catching them in a hurry.
Yeah, Brightsman really starting to close in on Stabnow, sitting in 2nd place. And, you know, not really running too different of a line, but he's able to just do it a lot faster and reeling those guys in by driving just a little bit deeper into the corners.
He is indeed, and it's just a matter of time before he catches those guys. And it doesn't help the leaders any at all as you're watching Mark Walls. He's got 2 lap cars in front of him. That could be playing a little bit of a factor into this, but they just really caught them, so I don't think it is, as all 3 of these guys are going to get by the 51 of James Dalzell pretty easy, and they're going to look to set their eyes on, I believe, I can't tell who that is in front of them.
Harold Heffley in the 61, just now going a lap down.
Yeah, so he wasn't going to fight him either. So he is now 1 lap down. So that gives Ryan Maines somebody to battle, as Gerald Heffley is now 1 lap down as well. So that just made that position a little bit more entertaining to watch if we see a battle going on back there.
Yeah, so Heffley and Maines, those 2 are going to start fighting it out for the first car 1 lap down, but there is a little bit of a gap between those 2, so Ryan Maines has some work to do. Meanwhile, Sean Brightsman, he's on that back bumper of the 24 machine, which is on the back bumper of the 29 machine, and they're still dealing with another lap car, and that is the 77 of Tom Green, who was just running in the top 5. Now here he is going a lap down in 9th place.
Is indeed, and it makes you wonder if Jeff Stabnow maybe was trying to conserve some tires in case this thing went green for a long time, and that's why he hasn't been able to get by Mark Walls, because they're running 22.076 to 0.98, so their times are right there together, but they weren't as close earlier. I think Jeff Stabnow may have been trying to conserve a little bit, and now he's got teammate Sean Brightsman behind him. He can't conserve because he's got to stay ahead of him as well. So, you know, his strategy of conserving tires here is been thrown out the window with his teammate breathing down his neck, trying to push him forward.
Yeah, it is. It's a 3-car battle for the lead, and it's going to be very interesting here at Richmond as these guys fight it out. And lap after lap, they're following each other. But if this thing stays green, who has done the best job at maintaining their tires, saving something, putting a little bit in the bank, so to speak? You know, Mark Walls, he's got 15 lap older tires. So can he hold them off if this goes green the rest of the way? Or has he been able to you know, burn them down here and not have anything left at the end?
Indeed, 47 for now 48 laps on those tires compared to 33 for Jeff Stabnow and Sean Brightsman. As those 3 we're looking at their last laps. Jeff Stabnow ran, now even Sean Brightsman ran a 21.916, a 21.892 for Jeff Stabnow, a 21.868 for Mark Walls. So Mark Walls is actually still running faster times than second and third right now with 50 lap tires right now. He is definitely onto something. He knows how to make those tires work.
Yeah, he's extracting all he can from them for sure as he's running out front. Chris White, though, he's sitting in fourth place, about 4.2 seconds behind this lead pack. And then Steve Seelstad in the 45 machine, he's going to round out your top 5. He's about 1 second behind Chris White.
Indeed, and again, those top 5 are very fast drivers. And it makes you wonder, you know, these three battling up front, if something happens, they get together and they manage to wreck together, that's going to put Chris White, Steve Silstad, Andy Vogt, David Applegate, who is back in 7th position, keep in mind. After all of that, he went down to like 13th or 14th. Here he is back in 7th. So what a rebound for David Applegate here tonight.
Yeah, having a good recovery, but the race isn't over yet. Got to keep his nose clean from here on out, as he had to get that truck fixed. And it's a very, very nice paint scheme. Very drawn to it, as it says MaxSpeedTV all over it.
It's definitely a good job. Again, one of our part-time commentators, Brandon Kaufman, actually painted that truck. And he has done a fantastic job of doing so. But everybody's really starting to get by these lap cars now. Is the 51 of James Dalziel here. He's going to get passed by a few more cars, but no, lap cars are really starting to become a factor here in this race for everybody, except for your top 3 right now. Is they've kind of pulled away. There's nobody else in front of them at the moment, so you know it's just a matter of time. As now you see right in front of them your actual next car to go a lap down. Not sure who it is, but they'll probably be catching them here in the next 5 laps. And you know, if we catch a lap car in the end of this race, that could alter the way this race could normally end, as these leaders could use a lap car to help gain the position.
Little bit of housekeeping. Dan Stussy packed up, headed home. He has currently scored 13th. But Jackson Steiner in 14th place is out on track. Steiner has an opportunity to pass Stussy if he can keep out on track for about 12 more laps.
Yeah, it's all he's got to do is 12 more laps and he will pass him. And I have a feeling he'll probably be able to do it. Dan Rogers is not coming back out in that 07. It's a very disappointing finish for John Ottenbacher, as he is currently 59 laps down. That's just unfortunate, as it looks like Jackson Steiner is going to pull it to the apron. He may go in, and he's going to go in and get some more repairs done, or he may call it a night, not sure yet. But Mark Wall still out front, and you know, we have a minute here. These guys are not really changing here at the front. You want to see possibly get a word in with John Ottenbacher and see just what happened, how that truck was handling.
Don Ottenbacher, KR and Charles up in the broadcast booth. You got your ears on, man?
I got you.
Well, just kind of curious what happened there, how that truck was handling. No, not the finish we expected for you here. You were so fast early in this race, but obviously a disappointing finish. Going to be finishing about 19th or so, but what happened is how's that truck handling out there for you?
Well, I just pretty much ran out of talent. I had to kind of tiptoe around it for the first few laps, and I couldn't do that apparently, so just got loose.
Well, it definitely is not the finish we expected for you. I guess you could technically blame KR. He did pick you, so the jinx of KR come back and got you. So maybe KR ran out of talent for you. But KR, any questions for you for him before we let him get back to his team channel?
John, yeah, having a rough night out here. We appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. You looked fast. I'm sorry I picked you. Maybe gave you a little bit of a broadcaster curse. Will you forgive me?
Yeah, I figured you got KR.
All right, man. Week in, week out, you're always a threat to win. You always run up front as long as you're out there. And unfortunately, tonight, not your night. But again, thank you for talking to us.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks.
It was John Ottenbacher out of the race here earlier than he anticipated, but still gracious enough to give us a good word.
Yeah, and while we were there, we were watching these leaders. Sean Brightsman did get by Jeff Stabnow to put him in third. And also note they just got by Scott Hutchinson to put him a lap down. So these guys are starting to pick off even the top 10 as they just put, again, the 91 of Scott Hutchinson a lap down. David Applegate's the next one on their list. He does have a 14-second gap, so they've got quite a bit of time before they catch him. As David Applegate right there getting into the wall right as we left him, giving some damage, and that potentially might hurt his chances of not going a lap down, as damage is not what you want to see.
No, damage here isn't terrible, but if you knock the toe in or out, however it gets knocked, if you change your steering wheel settings, you're going to lose a lot of grip when that happens. So anytime you get in the wall, you run the risk of doing that. And, you know, Mark Walls, that car looks nice and straight. There's a reason why that thing's out front.
There is indeed. We're looking back here to Ryan Maines, who again is one lap down. Scott Hutchinson a lap down. Tom Green a lap down. But everyone's really spread out right now. Nobody is technically battling for a position, but still having some good battles. As right in the mix of this thing is Steve Silstad in 5th, as well as Andy Vogt in 6th. They've got lap cars around them, though. So they've got to be very careful in the way they drive to steer clear of these lap cars and not get involved in any incidents here on the track.
A 3-car battle for top 5. David Applegate and Steve Silstad on the outside here. Andy Vogt trying to work that inside as they go down the backstretch now. Again, Andy Vogt hanging tough all by himself on that inside. And oh man, they all chased that car up the track.
And there was almost contact. If there wasn't contact, it was very close. I don't think you could have fit a sheet of paper in between those two coming out of the turn, as Andy Vogt will take the position from Steve Silstad officially. And now he's got some cushion from some lap cars, or a lap car anyway, of the 17. But David Applegate's trying to get by the 45 of Steve Silstad as well, and he will do it. Again, that's not only a battle for position, that's a battle for cushion. You want to get as big a cushion as you can between you and the leaders. As you see now, the leader of Mark Walls, he's coming, and he is coming in a hurry. You can actually see David Applegate from the front of the 29 of Mark Walls. If you go on board with him real fast, you can actually see the blue truck of David Applegate. So he is within striking distance at this point.
Yeah, Mark Walls picking up cars and laying them down, and he puts them in the lap down bin when he sets it down. Meanwhile, Chris White, he's running 4th place, 7 seconds behind Jeff Stabnow. He's out there, and not as fast as he'd like to be, but still within the top 5.
And you know, we're sitting here talking about how they're putting this field a lap down. You know, we very well could run into another situation like we did with the Monday race, where Scott Mann started putting the entire field a lap down, and it caused some serious chaos with the rest of this field, as it was throwing people in the wrong order. People were getting laps down that shouldn't have been. So hopefully that does not happen again here tonight. But, you know, it's kind of setting up to be the same scenario. You have Mark Walls, the leader, putting all these cars a lap down.
Yeah, Mark Wall's putting these guys a lap down, but don't forget what happened last week was something that happened under yellow in the middle of green flag pit stops. So I don't expect these guys to make green flag pit stops here tonight. I think they're going to be able to make it the rest of the way. And Mark Wall's, I'm questioning his decision here if he can actually make it the rest of the way. I hope he can. But when I say I'm questioning it, I'm really wondering if he actually made a stop on pit road and just didn't tell us, because that car is not acting like it's got some of the oldest tires out on track right now.
No, it's not, as he just ran the fastest lap, 22.225 to a 22.3 or 2.36 for Sean Brightsman, 22.4 for Jeff Stabnow. So I'm beginning to wonder if maybe he's got some special tires on there, some Days of Thunder tires or something, because that truck is not losing speed like we're used to seeing some of these guys.
Yeah, he's running a match set. His best lap time out here tonight is a 21.025. Last time around was a 22.2. Getting ready to cross the line once again, and he's going to turn a 22.320.
And we're looking back as we keep seeing he's about to put the 51 of James Dalziel another lap down. But look, just ahead of him, it's creeping closer and closer. David Applegate, Steve Silstad, Andy Vogt not far away. I would say within the next probably 5 to 6 laps, if we don't see a caution, he's going to put these guys a lap down, as we now have 20 laps to go here in the race.
Yeah, the laps are starting to wind down here. Brightsman in second, doing all he can to reel in Mark Walls. He's already dealt with Jeff Stabnow, and Stabnow even falling further behind Sean Brightsman, and Chris White, 4th place, almost 7 seconds behind Jeff Stabnow.
Yeah, and we're at the point now, too. Keep in mind, these guys have 66 to 80 laps for Mark Walls on his tires. Right now, they may pit 19 to go. If we get within that 10 lap to go window, nobody's going to want to pit and leave that track position and give it up. So if we manage to go to 10 laps to go and we get a caution by some freak chance, I don't think anybody's going to want to give up their track position with only 10 to go. So that means we would have almost 100 laps on these tires, as there is the caution for the 46 of Sean Brightsman.
Brightsman going around here, and it looks like he had some help with the 51 machine of James Dalziel.
Well, we were talking about it, and apparently the caution wanted to go ahead and come out and rear its ugly head, as it did come out. We'll see here what happened. You said the 51, man, I had a little help there. We'll see. Oh, actually, you're right. The 51 was actually just running in his line. It looked like the 46 had a huge run and got into the back of him there. So, nothing intentional, nothing bad, just a racing deal. The Sean Brightsman in that 46 got a huge run, and just, there was nowhere to go. He tried to check up, it looked like, but just, again, nowhere to go, and got into the back of him.
That's some minor contact being made, but it was enough to send Sean Brightsman and James Dalziel both around and bring out our yellow.
And the question is, how many tires are these guys going to take? This is going to get very interesting here, as looks like everyone's going to take 4 tires, and they really need them, and they're going to come out just about how they went in. So very interesting to see how this plays itself out. Mark Wall's going to come out up front. Jeff Stabnow second, but look who's sitting in 3rd place who did not pit.
Scott Hutchinson, he's currently scored in 3rd place, and looks like he's coming down pit road once again.
He is indeed going to come down. I don't think he was a lap down, so he was on the lead lap. Just opted not to come down. But that's going to put Chris White in 3rd place right now. And through all of that, Sean Brightsman's still in 4th place after that spin. But now he's in 4th. He's got some fresh tires, as we're going to have about 13 laps to go when we get the green. This is going to get interesting. We all have fresh tires now with 15 to go.
Gonna be a wild and crazy shootout. Everyone's gonna put their foot to the floor, try and use up those fresh tires within the 15 laps. That means no tire conservation, no planning ahead. Just get on the throttle and drive the wheels off of it.
And indeed, that is what you have to do here. 15 to go, now 14 to go. Yeah, like you said, you know, Mr. Nice Guy time is out the window now. It is time to go racing. No holds barred, door to door, beating and banging. Let's get it on here with the trucks. It is gonna be a fantastic finish.
It is, and I want to make a big shout out to the 89 machine, John Ottenbacher. His crew has got him back out there on track, and he's got a chance to win.
He does indeed, so what a good run. Sitting 4th place right now. We'll see how he's going to do. I was talking to Bryson, John Ottenbacher. I guess you could say he has a chance. I'm not sure, 79 laps down, but he's definitely...
I got to stay positive. He was my pick.
Well, you know, we could say that you jinxed him by picking him. I personally think we don't see his normal #1 fan in chat here tonight either, so, you know, maybe he didn't have the fan base out there he needed, and that is why luck was not going his way. So, you know, maybe if we got his fan base out there again, he would turn that luck around.
The power of the fans cheering you on puts you on a whole nother level, but all joking aside, unfortunate night for Ottenbacher, but here we go, getting ready to go green. Mark Wall's on the loud pedal. Jeff Stabnow going to tuck in into 2nd place right behind him.
He is indeed. Again, teammates working together. That's what they're going to do. They're going to take the high side this time. Very interesting here, as now they're going to take it to the bottom. 2 different distinct lines. I'm not sure how much rubber's been laid down there, but they've run, again, almost 130 laps on this track. Over 130 technically. So there's got to be some rubber laid down, as we have now 11 laps to go. And we'll see somebody slowed back in the back. And that is the 97 of Jackson. Steiner, as a caution, is going to come out. But it's not for him. It's for Andy Vogt this time.
The 61 involved, the 51 involved, and Steve Sealsad in the 45 also involved.
That is unfortunate. Again, just a few bad calls here. We'll see what happened to Andy Vogt. Let's see. So far, so good. I don't see anything major happen. We'll see exactly what brought this out. Andy Vogt's good.
It looked like Andy Vogt went into the turn 1, got a little crossed up, and Steve Sealstad could not get it checked up in time, and then everyone just piled in.
Indeed. Tried to check it up, just couldn't quite do it in time, and then just spun the 10 of Andy Vogt around even further, and a few cars getting collected behind him. But it's going to be a very interesting finish now. I can promise you nobody's coming down pit road with 9 to go. We will go racing again here to finish this off, but nobody's going to come down pit road and get tires.
Brian Maines is on pit road in the 17 machine, making a gamble from the back of the pack. See if those tires are going to help him, but, you know, not that big of a difference here at Richmond. You're going to have maybe 8, 9, 10 lap fresher tires, and the fall off is not that great in that many of laps.
No, it's not. And speaking of Andy Maines, on the lead lap, you know, got his lap back here, so he's actually on the lead lap, so he's going to get a top 10 finish out of the night after slamming the inside or outside wall and being stuck into it. Had about a 2-minute tow, a little over 2 minutes plus the repair, and he is back in 8th place on the lead lap.
He is, and he's, you know, got to feel good about that, having a great recovery. He may not be able to get the finish he wants, but when you're able to overcome a incident like that throughout the race night, you leave the race thinking of what might have been, but glad for what you were able to pull off.
Yes, indeed. and he's going to pull off a good finish. The question is, who is going to win this race? We have 4, 5, even 6. Really, if you go with the top 5 real fast, we'll put them up on the screen. Mark Walls, Jeff Stabnow, Chris White, Sean Brightsman, and David Applegate. Those are your top 5 cars right now. In my opinion, any of those top 5 could win this race still. It's really still undetermined as to who possibly could win that race.
Yeah, it's a great battle shaping up. We're going to have a very short shootout, about a 5-lap shootout for the race win. And as shootouts go, anything can happen. If one of these drivers out on track leaves just the smallest of a hole, someone behind them is a little bit faster, expect them to fill it. And when that happens, we could end up under caution with this race finishing in that situation.
Yeah, and nobody wants to end under caution, as we'll see if the lights go out this time. They do indeed, so we are going to have a nice little shootout here with, like you said, 5-lap shootout. This is going to get very interesting.
It is, with Mark Walls and Jeff Stabnow on the front row, just like how we started the race, except for they have swapped positions. Mark Walls is going to be on the inside, Jeff Stabnow on the outside. Chris White sitting in 3rd place, and Sean Brightsman going to start 2nd row outside here on this restart.
Indeed, and you know, we talked about it earlier, nose hold barred, everything goes, you got to put it all on the line. That was with 12 to go, now we have 5 to go. Green flag is out once again, and this is for everything. Caution comes out, the race is over. Checkered flag comes out, the race is over. One of those is going to happen, one of those will end this race.
Yeah, Chris White down to the inside here, Sean Brightsman on the outside as they dive into turn 3, but Mark Walls getting a great jump, doing everything he needs to do on this short shootout, and that start he had might have made the race-winning move right there.
And somebody slowed down on the front stretch there, but it's not going to bring out a caution back to the front. Well, not even going to go really front. Let's go back here to 3rd position. Sean Brightsman and Chris White battling, as it looks like Sean Brightsman is going to hang on to the position. And
Andy Vogt in trouble, going to collect the 427 machine of Brandon Weinberg. Weinberg in trouble here on the front stretch, and that is going to do it here, folks.
That is definitely not the way they wanted to finish, but that will put a 1, 2, 3 for WCR finish here. We'll go back and watch the replay here and see what happened to Andy Vogt. Just take a quick look here. Thought he was going to get a little loose, but he keeps it going there. Oh, and I'm not sure if they actually touched between the 45 of Steve Silstad and Andy Vogt, and there goes the 427 getting involved. So, you know, just a slight tap, or maybe just got the air off the side of his truck, and that brought out the caution here with 2 laps to go. Like you said, that will do it. So Mark Walls unofficially going to be getting the win here tonight.
White flag flying, yellow flag in the other hand of the flagman. We are on our final lap. And, man, what a race here at Richmond. It's too bad it is going to finish under caution, but what more can you say about Richmond? This kind of short track racing here tonight.
It is indeed here for the Walls Beard Co. 140, and you're actually going to have 3 Walls Beard Co. trucks finishing 1, 2, and 3, so good finish for those guys. I just don't know if anybody had anything for Mark Walls here tonight. He definitely came in there. He actually led 85 laps, so he led the most. Stabnow led 49, Ottenbacher 3, and Hutchinson led 2. Those were your only 4 leaders here tonight.
Yeah, Mark Walls coming around to take the checkered right there, folks. That's going to do it with Jeff Stabnow second. Those 2 very dominant trucks out here tonight. And it goes to Mark Walls.
It does indeed. So we're not done just yet, folks. Give us just a minute. We'll be right back with your post-race show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here with your post-race show. Again, we have caught up with the 46 of Sean Brightsman. At least KR has, so KR, we will hand it over to you.
Sean Brightsman, man, towards the end of the race, you end up getting into a spin with a lap car, but you recovered well, finishing third here. Did you see your race go up in smoke there in that little incident?
Not completely. I figured we had some more laps. I didn't think we had that many people on the lead lap, so I figured I could hopefully regain at least a top 5. And then when I came out of the pits there, I saw that I was still in the top 5, so I figured I was pretty safe at that point.
How worried were you as you're sliding and looking at the inside wall, getting closer and closer?
I was definitely worried. I was trying to do my best to try to complete the loop, but it didn't really want to complete the loop, so started really noticing it was getting a lot closer, so figured we'd better lock it down and maybe try to get in reverse and get it out of there.
So you end up third out here tonight at Richmond. How difficult was the track to handle overall? It seemed like a lot of drivers were really getting loose on quarter exit.
Yeah, I mean, Richmond's known for that, especially, on exits, the corners. It's depends on how you enter and exit and how quick you're on the throttle. The quicker you're on and you're full bore, the easier it is to spin the tires. Out of 2 and 4, there's kind of almost kind of like a little hump, but it's very subtle.
All right, man. Well, again, congratulations on third place. Any sponsors, people to thank for this podium finish?
Absolutely. I just got to thank everybody at Wicked Chassis Racing. I got to thank Highway for being on board of the 46 Toyota Tundra. Also got to thank our race sponsor and series sponsor, Walls Beard Co. Go ahead and check them out at wallsbeardco.com and pick up some beard balm for your beards.
All right, Sean. Well, man, again, congratulations on your third place finish. Great job recovering from your spin late in the race.
Thank you.
That was Sean Brightsman finishing third out here tonight. But Charles, I believe you got second place ready to rock.
I do indeed. Caught up with the 24 of Jeff Stabnow. And, you had a run. 49 laps led. Did you think you had anything for Mark Walls? You were up there battling with him all night long.
We practiced all week together. We did some long runs, and typically in most runs we did, I was maybe a little fast the first 15 to 20 laps, and then he just killed. So, because he's just so good with those tires and maintaining that speed on those runs, and he'd just pull away from me. So I thought if it came down to a short run, I might be able to make a little bit of noise. But when we had that big long run, I was just happy to keep up. I actually surprised myself a little bit running with them guys there that laps without burning it up. So I was pretty darn happy.
Well, we just want to check in. We talked to you pre-race, and we also talked to you in the pits before we got live on the broadcast here. having some brake issues. So, did you get those fixed, or were you running out there with some jacked up brakes and just able to do a good job with them?
Well, we put some new springs in the brakes there, and it took a little while to break them in, but I'd say about 40 laps into the race, they were feeling pretty good. I think we got lucky there, got to lead those first 40 laps, so it wasn't like I was having to deal with a whole lot of traffic and check up, and didn't really have to that hard. Was easy into the corners, easy off, and then by the time we got into the race and started racing, those springs had softened up, and it was starting to feel pretty good.
Well, you definitely had a good run here, kind of back and forth. For the most part, you were up the front. Again, led 49 laps of this race, nearly 50 laps of the 140. But again, we talk to you quite often. We know you got some sponsors and shout-outs, so who would those be for that second-place finish?
Wow, there's so many here. Big shout out to the Walls Beard Co. New Leader sponsors on the truck tonight, and so awesome to get to put this on the podium here, right there with the other Walls Beard Co. and Highway Equipment Company New Leader trucks tonight on a Walls Beard Co. race. So that's pretty neat that we got all three of us on the podium. Big shout out to the teammates. We put in a lot of hours this week on this setup. Richmond's a tough track, and Mark hit on the setup pretty early in the week, so we were able to go out there and really just fine-tune it and run laps on it. So I know Mark had a ton of time on this. We worked there with him, but that was huge for us. Shout out to all the sponsors. Again, Highway Equipment Company, Walls Beard Co., the series sponsor, just everybody that helps make this happen, and my teammates.
All right, well, again, congrats on second place. And I believe, KR, you have caught up with our race winner here tonight.
I have. Mark Walls, congratulations on your race win. Dominating performance, leading the most laps. You're kissing the trophy girl. You got champagne down your gullet. And I see you wiping confetti that was fired from the cannons from your eyes, man. Tell us about your race.
Oh, man. You know what? That Walls Beard Co. Chevy Silverado, that 29 machine was just on rails tonight. It just drove wherever I wanted it to. Nice and smooth. We got collected early. Thanks for that fast repair. All I saw in front of me was 4 trucks sideways, and I didn't have anywhere to go but try to tunnel through it, and took on heavy damage and came back out and got a taste of the lead and just kept the hammer down.
The hammer down, a great way to describe it, as like I said, you led the most laps. Some of the carnage was going on in front of you, as you said, some of it behind you. How glad were you to be out front, though, and in charge of your own destiny?
Well, out front was definitely a relief, but it's never a relief when you have Jeff and Sean sitting behind you, and Chris was right there with us, so you can't slack on your game at all. That's where you really got to step it up and drive it even harder. So yeah, the lead is great, but at the same time, you got everybody hunting you down. So it's still a handful.
So tell us a little bit about your game plan going into this tonight. You and Jeff Stabnow qualify on the front row. How do you maintain a pace like what you guys put down for 140 laps?
Yeah, I think I really hit the balance this week, just overall with the setup. So being easy on the throttle, just really letting that thing rotate and getting off the corner as hard as you can. You carry all that momentum down the straightaways. So being able to do that lap after lap and fight the loose. We couldn't really get the loose out of it. So you're still kind of jerking it sideways depending on what lap you're in, how far into the run. So it's definitely a balance. The Wicked Chassis guys, we hit it right tonight.
Well, man, I'm gonna let you get another kiss in with the trophy girl, but before that, how many sponsors, people would you like to thank for this wonderful Victory Lane visit?
Yeah, first we got to thank our team sponsor, Highway Equipment Company, and their 2 amazing brands, Highway and New Leader. They've been a big part of our team and all the efforts for what we do and our Xfinity series. So always glad to have them back in Victory Lane. We got to thank Walls Beard Co. It's awesome to put this thing in that victory circle. Check it out. wallsbeardco.com. We got some awesome beard balms, all natural. Help take care of that hair, help thick it up, make it look good. So check it out if you have any beards out there. And I got to thank my teammates. Got these guys pushing back and forth. We don't drive as hard as we do. And I tell you, with Jeff behind me, he's right there. He's a contender every lap for that lead. So you got to drive hard. And fortunate it ended with a caution. I wanted to see that go green.
Well, man, Mark, once again, congratulations on your race win, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
10-4. Thank you.
All right, Charles, that was Mark Walls winning tonight in dominating fashion, leading the most laps. I'm going to hand it over to you, man.
All right, again, a good race here. Overall, 21 drivers, a few guys off the lead lap and out of the race, but overall a good race. So to get to the unofficial race results, again, barring any race control issues, I will run through the top 10. And Carol, you want to finish off with 11th through 21st?
Sure.
All right, getting the win here tonight is the 29 of Mark Walls. Second place will go to the 24 of Jeff Stabnow. Third is the 46 of Sean Breitzman. Fourth place will go to the 35 of Chris White. And the fifth place will go to the 23 of David Applegate. Sixth place will go to Scott Hutchinson. Seventh place, Ryan Maines. Good bounce back for him here tonight. Eighth place will be the 43 of Steve Silstad. And ninth place will be the 10 of Andy Vogt. And rounding out your top 10 here tonight will be the number 77 of Tom Green.
Gerald Heffley will finish in 11th. He's going to start the trend of lap down cars, but he will be 4 laps down. James Dalzey on the 51 will finish 12th, 5 laps down. And then the accidents, the guys who spent a lot of time on pit road but were able to keep going. In 13th place was Jackson Steiner. 14th was Dan Stussy. Dana Rogers will end up 15th spot. Brandon Weinberg will finish in 16th. 17th will be John Ottenbacher. 18th, Frank Harris. 19th, Brad Cornell. Carl Burke will end up 20th. And 21st will go to Kip Leo in the 16 machine.
And it's good finishes for a lot of guys, some disappointing finishes for others. So all around, not the best night for some, but others had a really good night. But before we sign off for the night, we want to go through all the sponsors and, of course, that make this broadcast possible. Again, Walls Beard Co., Sim Speed Shop, HomeNet Hosting, NPC Repair, Elite 7 Racing, Ohio IndyCar League, and coming on board just recently is iBog here for MaxSpeedTV. And on the racing side of things, you can't leave out all those sponsors. Of course, Highway and New Leader, both of those are part of Highway Equipment Company, so check them out at highwayequipment.com. And the title sponsor for this series, as well as this race, that is Walls Beard Co. Make sure you check them out for their great beard balm products. So again, you can check them out at wallsbeardco.com. But that will do it for the race here on MaxSpeedTV. Any final words, KR, before we sign off for the night?
Some great racing here at Richmond. A lot of cars got torn up tonight, but that's some short track racing, man.
It is indeed some short track racing. Good thing is no tempers flared. Everyone gets along well here. So that will do it, though, on behalf of course, the league, the Northwest Truck Series, actually Northwest Racing League, and MaxSpeedTV. We'll see you at the next broadcast. That will be Rudy tomorrow night having a special event, so make sure you stay tuned for that tomorrow night. It will be on our channel, so make sure you go get ready for that, as that is coming up a little bit later tomorrow night. Other than that, that is it. And we have some races coming up. The VRL Southern Spoon Cup Series Saturday, as well as the James Foster Memorial on Saturday. So not a whole lot of stuff going on the rest of the week, but we do have a few. So stay tuned for that, and have a safe night, morning at this point, and we'll see you later today.